The weather today is just garbage. But I'll tell you what, I just found $1. I woke up late this morning, well, 9:15, which is early for me, but late for the rest of the world. It looked like snowpocalypse outside. I have the rule that if school is canceled, my morning classes are canceled, so I was sure I was getting the morning off. But nay, school was not canceled because it was supposed to turn to rain by lunch. I came in to teach in my first class. I had to borrow my mother's car, so I'm driving a different car again today because she has studded tires and our car does not. And I was sure nobody was going to come to class because quite frankly, the roads were garbage. But 3 people did show up, 2 walkers and 1 person whose husband brought them down. And we had class. And now I'm wondering what the fate of my other 2 classes will be for today. There was a time when I taught 5 classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays. That was back in the time when I was trying to kill myself. Not really, but pretty much. I now teach 3 for a few more weeks and I'll be down to 2. Anyhow, one of those 5 classes was a yoga class that finished at 9:15. It was usually a pretty small class because, well, it was so late. Often we would call it an airing of the grievances class because it was just a few people. We were all tired, we'd had a long day, we were stretching, and we would sit there and each one of us would take turns complaining about things that had happened during our day. It was very, very enjoyable because you got things off of your chest. So you stretched and also cleared your mind. It was lovely. So let's call this an airing of the grievances. In some classes, I specifically say, if what I'm doing or what I'm saying isn't going to work for you for whatever reason, go ahead and do something differently. There are people that have different limitations and different injuries, and they know to choose a different option when I go into some different movements. Then there are the people who just straight up ignore me. They pay no attention to what I'm saying or what I'm doing. These people drive me crazy. As a fitness instructor, I do the best I can not to single people out and make corrections for a single person when it can be done as a group. There are exceptions to that, of course. I'm not talking about that either. And the worst part is, everybody else is listening to me, so they're thinking like, why does she have to keep saying this over and over again? Anytime I give that type of correction or say something like that, all the people who are paying attention, which is most of the class, look down, make adjustments when they were already doing it perfectly, and the people I am directing it to continue to ignore me. You're paying me for a reason. That's not just to come use the equipment and use the room because I've rented it out. It's because I have spent literally thousands of hours in training and teaching in order to give you an effective and safe class. Please listen to your instructors. If you have a terrible instructor who is asking you to do things that is going to kill you, let's stop going to that class. The same sort of thing used to happen when I had participants in Zumba classes that would go on vacation or go somewhere and end up in someone else's class. I had more than one time they would come back and say, oh, I went to this Zumba class. They did the moves all wrong. Whatever song came on and they were doing something completely different and I didn't like it, so I just did your routine. Don't do that! There is more than one routine to a song. Don't go to someone else's class and do your instructor's routines. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Give me an anxiety attack that is inappropriate. If you are going to a Zumba class or dance class or whatever that is not your normal class and the routines are different, I'm sorry, but you need to do the routines of that instructor. Don't do another instructor's routines in your class. Oh, I've made it to my second class. It's not snowing anymore. It's now raining. On my walk from the building to the car, I got drenched. Another thing. Let's just get the grievances all out of the way. For the love of everything, please, if you are going to go to an exercise class, don't hum. Please. It is very distracting. Probably not just for the instructor, but also for the other participants. Also, do not talk while the instructor is talking. It makes them Hulk angry. Number 3, whistling is a little bit weird. If you're doing it down during the cool down, that's fine because you're just chilling out. But if you're like doing Zumba and whistling at the same time, maybe you should refocus some of that energy into doing your exercise and a little bit less out of whistling. I think that is all I have to grieve about today. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Car Confessions. If you're watching on YouTube, please make sure you subscribe, like, and or comment to let me know that you enjoyed this episode or that you didn't enjoy this episode. If you're on Facebook, make sure that you're following my page and like and comment just so more of my stuff shows up in your feed if you would like to see it there. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great weekend. Side note, yes, of course, an airing of the Grievances is taken from Festivus from Seinfeld. Festivus? Why can't I talk today?